I do apologize, that one was a little long. I was doing a lot of explanation. Now let me just double check something. Initials, email, first name, last name, blah, blah, blah. You can implement the image if you want, but we're going to get into that in just a second. It's going to take, it's kind of nasty. I want to figure out why this thing won't change color. Change color, damn it. Let me see. The aref, blah, 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 class equals logo. I don't want that red color, though. That drives me nuts. Logo. I spelled it right, right? Hope I didn't spell that wrong. Did I put Lego? No, it's logo. Whatever. Anyway, profile initials. That's what I called it, right? Alright, so last was first. Input initials. That's what I called it, right? Input initials. Just so you know what's going on, we're going to console log this, but we're going to make a variable of profile first. We're going to just make that document, get element by ID, profile first dot value, and profile last document, get element by ID, profile last value. We will then say that document get element by ID. I called this profile initials, right? Register initials. Register initials dot value will equal profile first dot substring. Oh wait, what was it? I mean, it's pretty much just the same thing as hold on. Wait, web root. Whoops. Just double checking myself. JavaScript. Header pages. Okay. Substring 01. Okay. 01. That's concatenation in JavaScript, because everything in JavaScript has to be ugly. 01. And I'm going to, for your sake, console log out. Nah, shit. Yeah, let me do that. Profile initials. Just to make this a lot easier. So we'll just go like this. So profile initials. And then we'll just console our profile initials. This way you can see it. Let me go to my console log. Now, if I put in a first name, yeah, let me get rid of that for a sec. If I put a first name in, on the second line, what am I missing? Register first, register last. Hold on, key up. Oh, God. Okay, anyway. Well, I don't want that. Hold on. No, let me go value. If I go like this, as you can see, it's R, and if I go R, now it's double R. That's where we're loading into the hidden input field. But if I were to do this, enter, I don't like that. Okay, hold on. Opening back my profiles table. I forgot that it does that. Okay, so let's take that out. Has to turn those into non-HTML entities. If I go bam, and I go bam, and I go like this, it's going to give me that. So if I go like this, it's going to see how it'll automatically say that it's not a valid email address because we made this. So we're going to let the HTML5 do all that checking for us. But if I were to do that, right, this field cannot be empty. It's required anyway. Now, I'm going to let the HTML require that, but I'm not going to require the username and the password, and the reason is because when we want to update the profile, it's going to look for a username and password, and I don't want you to have to change that. Now, I may implement a password change page, maybe. I'll see what kind of time we have, but if I go like this, and I go like this, and I go like this, it still loads. I don't know why. This should have told me. Why didn't that work? It's supposed to be min-length first name. Oh, because okay, I know why. Anyway, I'm getting to that. Right now, it's a stupid. It doesn't do anything. Okay, we have to tell it to do something in the controller. But we're set. We're ready to go. We have the empty entity. At this point, we have to tell this what we want to do with this entity. As of now, the entity is empty. The form is just taking data. It's just not doing anything with the data. So we have to tell it if this request is post. What we're saying here is if we are requesting a post, do this, whatever. If it's not requesting a post, it doesn't make any difference. And again, as I've said, we're going to do checks for the username and the email address. And the username and email address checks are going to be if they're already in the database. At that point, we're also going to do a password check to see how many characters the password is, and if the confirmed password equals the password itself. The first check, now, there is a way to get the same error messaging as you would when you're trying to see if everything checks out based on your validator. I'm just going to use the flash, which I don't really like because it looks different, but we'll just use the flash templates that they have. And the first thing we're going to say is if this request, and the way that you get the data from the form is get data, and then you have the form name, the data form name. And what we have here is profile.email. But what we want to see is if that profile.email is in the database. And the way you do that is find by user, find all by username or email. I think this is an uppercase. Let's do the username first. Find by username. I want you to know whether or not either one. I don't want you to know if one is. I want you to know which one is used. Request, get data, username. How did I do that again? Let me just double check. If I'm using the first, right, okay, so we're just, oh yeah. If this users, sorry, if this users, so this users controller is going to base everything off of the users table entity, or users table object. If this users table, find by username, get that username. If the username that we're implementing here is found in the users table, meaning that there's an actual entry, so we're going to say first. Let me just make sure I got all the parentheses. Nope. So if there is an actual first entry in there, if something comes up with the username, then we're going to go this flash error, that username is taken. At that point, else if that checks out, if we didn't use the same username, then find all by username or email. This request. And I'm doing the username first, and let me just double check. Because I wanted to make sure that the username is not taken. If the username is not taken, then we go to the next one. Now, but we still have to add, we still have to put the username in there because it's username or email. So we still have to put the username in there, even though at that point you know you didn't take a username that's already been taken. And also throw in the request. Get data. Then we see if there's an entry in there, and if there is, then we already know it's not the username, then it would have to be the email address, even though we're looking for both. Oh yeah, and this is this, sorry. Don't forget the double underscore and the parentheses. That's just how it works. That email address is taken. You don't have to do this, you can just let everyone use the same email address, whatever. Else if this, let me do a string length. String when this request get data password is less than 8. Your password should be at least 8 characters. I didn't put this in the validator because we're going to have to change the password. Now there is, if you have the authentication and everything, there is a means to look and see like password length and everything like that beforehand. Let's not worry about that right now. Else if this request get data password does not equal this request get data conf password, that's the name of it, that's not the type of it. We'll say error. The passwords don't match. See if the username's taken, see if the email's taken, see if the password's less than 8 characters, see if they match. Else we'll do a this flash success. Yay, you don't suck. Just to double check. So let's take a look. If I hit refresh. No. Oh, that's supposed to be profile. No, I already put that in there. That's a problem. Ah, shit. Now I gotta figure this one out. Oh, damn it. I wanted to put that in the details. Fine. I'll play your game. this. Put that here. Actually, wait, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Don't need that anyway. And I'll change this. A lot of these things are pre-made for them to have the email address. I was thinking of doing something different, but whatever. I'll just deal with it. Email varchar 150. Save, and then we'll go to profiles. We'll get rid of this. Drop. Okay. Let me take a look. Let me just double check. Email there. Okay. Doop. Let's hit register. Enter. Okay, let's go like this, and let's go like this. And I don't know if it's gonna work, but I could be wrong. Username is 3, 2. Oh, I forgot to change that. Where are you? That error message is just craziness. That's just basically saying that in the database there is it's not null, so you can't implement it in the database with a null. You can't do a database check or entry because it's not supposed to be null. And since I didn't have it, like, it's loading in a form for the user without an email address, then that's what's going to happen. Boop. Okay, password should be, I don't know why that came up first, but whatever. Oh, I know why that came up first. We're not verifying it off the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So at least we know that works, and then we'll just say you don't say. But we have to check this to the actual table itself. Let's get rid of this. Now, if these checks do come out positive, now we have to actually patch. We have to check the data. Let me just double check myself. And I'm going to call this. So now the variable user that we were using is going to be this user's patch entity, meaning that we're going to enter this into, and I think it was the variable that we put in there. Yeah. We're going to put all of this data that we've stored. Request get data. We're going to put all this into the user variable. And at that point, what we want to do is I want to hash my password. And the way we reference it is, now that the user object has been made, we can just reference password, and we can equal password hash, and that's this request get data password, and we just want to do a regular what is it? Password bcrypt, I think. Yeah, that's it. Now we're going to check it by saying if this users. So if we go through the save process of users with this user variable that's been patched with all this information, we're going to have a successful process. At that point, we're going to go user ID equals this user's save user. All right, hold on, my fault. New user equals this user save. So I can then go user ID equals new user ID. And at that point, we can now make our session. Let me just make sure that I have it right. And the way we do that is we set up a session variable called session equals this request get session, and then session, just make sure I got that right, and then session write. I'm wondering if I should put in the initials as a session variable entry. It would make things a little bit easier. No, I won't. Whatever. I'll just do this. ID. We'll input the user ID. Username. We'll input this request get username. Then at that point we will redirect. We will return a redirect, and redirect here is real simple. And just double check. Let me double check I got it right. Turn this. Sorry. This redirect. I just got to double check. I want to make sure that I get this right. Action. I'm going to go dashboard. And I think I have to do one of these. I think. Just double check. No, I can keep it in there. Okay. Now we haven't made that yet. And then of course, before we do that, I want to get that session flash. I want to get that success. Welcome aboard. If it doesn't work, we're going to then echo out the flash error of u factor. Double check myself. Yep. That's pretty much it. Did I put I didn't put the title in. Okay. Default. It's going to fetch title, right? Okay. So, the way you do that is you go this set title. Okay. And you can just then take this out. If you take that out, we go like this. CRM. I don't know why. Hold on. No, whatever. We'll get back to that. Anyway. Well, here's our form. It's all done. What are we at now? 20. Jeez. Okay. But before I go further, let's just make a dashboard. We're not. No, I won't put anything in it. No, not right now. Let me go into the user's controller and function dashboard D. This is simply so we can see that it all worked. Now, of course, you could see that it all worked when we look at the table and everything worked, but this is so that it routes to something else, and we know for a fact that it worked. Go to the builder. Connect. The way that you can note to CakePHP that you have a URL that requires a variable is by the star, and then we're going to do a check to make sure that that star is actually an ID number, so that it reflects the ID number and it doesn't just reflect any random bit of information you put in there. And that's the dashboard, so that's all set. Please save. Okay, now then. We already checked to see if these checks worked, more or less. Let's check to see if the database checks work. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoop. Username. Sorry. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You fucked up. See, that's how it works. You get the message here typically, and then you would see your first name cannot be less than 2. Your last name cannot be less than 2 characters. This was 5, so that doesn't really matter. And your username cannot be less than. So that's how the error messages would pop up through the form format, the form control format. That's how they pop up, like this. Now, let's put it. Let's register. Let's put somebody in there. Let's put me in there. Right. Put my email address in there. And let's go to the username, so the bookman. And let's put my password in that I like so much. We already know that works. This should then go through, right? Where did that fail? Let me take a look. It just failed. See, one of the things I don't like about CakePHP is it doesn't really tell you where you made that mistake. Integrity constraint violation. Cannot add or update child row. Foreign key constraint fails. So I must have made. This is a database error. I made a mistake here. Profiles. It says here that it's in the users, it's in that one. So then I did something screwy here. Do I really need that? I don't think I do. If I were to do that, let me see if that changes anything. I don't know if I did that last time. No, it still does that. Cannot add updates. And it says restrict. I think, okay, hold on. Let me drop all that. I don't think I need to do that. Okay, I really don't think I need to do that. Let me just, I don't know if I did that last. I don't remember if I did that last time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now if we look, right? If you look here, we have test, that, this, that, and the other thing. If you look at the profiles, bam. We have everything. We have the initials, we have the first name, last name, and the images, no, because we don't need that image. And again, if you look at the time that it was done, this says it was 1 p.m. That's 4 hours ahead of where I am. But as you can see, the user ID is 3. I don't know why, but it's 3. I guess I had 2 other users. I don't know. But there you go. So yeah, don't do that. Because what that does, you could say cascade, but that if you restrict it, then it just doesn't work well. So anyway, but that's that. Now we have initials and everything like that. So if I now go to the dashboard, and we'll just do this quick, and I make another user variable based off user equals this users find, or now we'll just do find by ID, right? ID. We can, the only way that we can reference the profile data is we have to go like this: contain profiles. And then we'll say what we want. We want the first one. Now you can say first or fail, but I'll just say first. Okay? And now we're going to pass the user out. So this set user. And if we go to the dashboard, if we make a dashboard, you have to make a dashboard. You have to make a what do you call it? A template. If you don't have a template, it'll freak the fuck out. So just make sure you have a template. And if we go like this, if we go username, and we go back to this, see the bookman. Now, if we go user first name, no, user profile first name. Now, we get Carmine. The reason is we have the relation, we have the association, and we're able to reference it through this user table profile. If I were to take that out, well, it's still there, but whatever. You know, it's there. It's there to reference. Actually, no, wait. That's to load it. I'm sorry. That's to load it in. That's what that's for. But if you notice here, it says users / I don't like the users thing, but that's how Cake does it. Cake just automatically implements the name of the controller into the. You can find a way to not. I mean, I've looked it up. If I go like this, it still works, but it just automatically takes you to users dashboard. It does that. I don't know. That's how Cake works. Again, that's how Cake's XML files read. Well, I wanted to do the register. Actually, let's do a quick. Let's quickly do. Hold on. Let's quickly do the logout because I want to show you something. It's taking a lot longer than I wanted to. Logout is real simple. Just I want to double check it. Logout is destroy the session, successfully log out. So it's this get session, this request get session, destroy. All right, that's what it was. And then we'll do the flash. Success. You've successfully logged out. And then we will return this redirect. And for now we'll go, the action will just be the register. Let me go like this. Out. Oh, I didn't do a route. Sorry. I don't think you need a page for that. I don't know, for when I was doing the real time, the XML and everything, Ajax, if you will, when I was doing that, it made me make a page. I don't think it even, okay, so we were successfully like that. And now if I were to make like Ricky Rupert, and I would have put Carmine CD as my email address, and I would put CD the Bookman as my that, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There should be an error message, and that username is taken. So now if I go and I do that, that email is, so that works too. But let's, for the sake of argument, let's just make Ricky Rupert, and we'll give him ricky@rupert.org or something. And we'll make his username Roops, and we'll just keep that, and then bam. And then we have Ricky. If you were to log out, and you were to go to dashboard 3, anyway, we'll look at that later. So, it should have destroyed that session. Did I log out? No, I logged out, didn't I? Right. Now let me try that again. If I go to dashboard 3, it's still coming up with... Oh, wait, you know why? Because, okay, now I know why. Sorry. Let's go like this instead. Let's go to dashboard. Of course, it's going to come up with Carmine. That's the ID it's looking for. Let's go to dashboard. Okay. God in heaven. This request get session get ID. Oh no, I'm sorry, read. So many frameworks in my head. There's nothing there because we're not logged in. Well, there you go. That's how you create a session. That's how you do all that stuff. That's how you register. That's our form of it. Again, when I come back, we're going to get rid of all this. We're going to do our own default base template that's going to have our headers and all that stuff, our nav bars and everything, and we'll go from there. So I will see you then. Sorry this took so long, but tomorrow it's going to be a little quicker when we do the login, and we'll do the dashboard. I'll see you then.